That was my last night on, well, second to last night on trail, and I ended up uh, feeling pretty bad that day, and then bad the next morning. So I something didn't feel that great, but still, you want to work through it. I've gone 1,600 miles. I got 600 more to go. I'm like, I can make 600 on my head, right? That's easy. But as the day went on, it seemed like it was getting a little more twingy. And right after I crossed out of North Adams and heading up toward Vermont, I was on a section and hit a rock and just I went down, and it just didn't feel right. Something was not that twisted ankle feel. It was almost less pain, but I couldn't put weight on it. So fortunately, I was in an area that was close to a water source, and so I basically just, managed to, with hiking poles and just keeping the weight off it, managed to get to a place where I could set up a tent near a water source. And I thought, well, this happens before. Maybe I'll spend the night and tomorrow it'll be fine. But the next day it wasn't any better. It might have been even feeling a little worse. And I knew that was when I was in trouble. But, being kind of stubborn again and saying, not really knowing what it was exactly, I figured I'd come in from, I think it was 2A was the last road that you cross in North Adams. And I'd gone about 5 miles that way. And it was about 5 more miles to the next road in Vermont. I said, well, you know what? I want to at least get to Vermont before I get off trail. And so I was able to cross the Vermont border. I put a call into my wife and Julie, who was, just my big support person all the way through my trail. And, as coincidence had it, the way the crow flies, that was the absolute closest place to my home. So I guess it couldn't have happened in a better place, if there is such a thing. But she was able to come up and get me, and we were able to get to a hospital and found out that it was actually detached Achilles. So my Achilles had just pulled out of my heel and was halfway up my calf, like a rubber band. And the bad news from the doctor was, this is not, something you just like. Sometimes with a torn Achilles, you can let it heal, but this was not. This was going to be pretty serious surgery. So I got the surgery within a couple weeks in July. And then I was in a cast for a few months and then rehabbing for a few more months. And I'm just at a point now that I'm starting to do some exercises, walking, even doing some light jogging at this point, with following my surgeon's orders. Because where before I was the bad boy that wouldn't go to a doctor, now it's like, yeah, I will do anything you tell me to do to get back on trail.
Right.
And as as we get older, surgeons are more, they're kind of iffy about performing, surgery like this. And she told me that a lot of people my age would not be a candidate for this kind of surgery that they had to do. But she thought that, due to, my health and my, shown abilities to recover, that I might be a candidate for doing the surgery. And so far it looks great. She says I'm 2 months ahead of schedule. So I'm really happy about that. And looking forward to getting back on trail in June.